7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother...
Hello and welcome to episode 14 of the Start Reset podcast. I am your host that's been gone for a very long time, Jeremy Riley, joined as always by the person who kept bothering me saying, yo, when are we going to do a podcast? When are we going to do a podcast? Michael Smith.
Yo, what's going on, Big Daddy?
What's going on? Big Daddy?
Yeah, that was actually really awkward.
Yeah, are we playing BioShock?
I'm your little sister.
Yeah, This is just getting really weird right off the bat. I don't know how I feel about this conversation.
Yeah.
It's been like 5 weeks since a podcast. I think we actually promised a post-PAX update, and it never happened.
Yeah, we totally did, man. So we can jump into that a little bit too and talk about like what did you think of PAX and how was it and what have you. Like eventually, you don't have to do it right now.
No, like how about we do that? Like let's just
right.
kind of talk about about PAX for 5 minutes. I can talk.
Definitely.
Let me just resituate this. Okay, sorry. So PAX, we had a nice 9-hour ride down there, or whatever it was, 10 hours, however long it took us to get there. And I drove, the last 2.5 hours or so, and I did not like navigating through Boston at all.
Dude, I totally forgot about how angry you were getting. It's like, we were hungry, we were tired, you hadn't vaped, it was just all this stuff, culminating in just Jeremy rage. Oh, it was actually really scary.
I don't know, if we didn't get there when we did, I probably would have driven us over a bridge or something.
Oh, you were about to lose your shit.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny.
Boston is the weirdest setup for streets that I've ever seen. There were a couple times when we were taking Uber rides that I thought that the drivers were just
fucking with us. Oh yeah, 100%.
Just get more money or whatever. But I think no, those are the fucking ways that you got to go to get around with Boston. I don't know.
It's just really how it is. It was so awkward.
Yeah, don't go to Boston. Boston seems cool from the outside, but I don't know. Always take Ubers or a taxi.
Shenanigans.
Or get a bike. I don't know.
Yeah, Uber was a lifesaver there, man. We made after we started getting it going to where we just kept piggybacking off of each other's accounts.
Yeah, promotions and shit. I think we ended up paying maybe a total of $20 for taxi rides the entire weekend, which isn't bad at all.
Yeah, no, that was good stuff. I think John was the one who got hosed because I think he went first.
Yeah, he should have sent us a code, us use it, then he would have gotten money back because the recommendation worked.
Yeah.
So, but whatever, he lost out.
Yeah, he did.
So
man, so give me your thoughts, dude. So was PAX what you thought it was going to be going into it? When you got there and you saw it and you walked inside after waiting in LineCon for the 5 hours we did.
Yes, LineCon. I like that.
Was it was it what you imagined it was going to be?
PAX was what I imagined it would be. I don't think that I took full advantage of the PAX experience.
Yeah.
And I think I'll know better for next year, what I did wrong this year. To make the corrections, but no, it was cool. It was super cramped, real freaking busy. I think that they said that this was the largest PAX of any PAX ever, if I'm not mistaken. I think I read that or heard that somewhere. But yeah, it's a line waiting game if you want to see and play games. As with any other trade show that shows off video games. Yeah, it was good, man. All I wanted to do, though, was buy merch, and I didn't buy merch at all.
I really didn't. I'm going nuts buying shit.
Yeah, you spent all the money. And I was I bought a carrying case for my Xbox One controller and a braided nylon cable.
All of which you could have gotten had you bought an Xbox One Elite controller, just FYI.
Yeah, but I only spent $15, not $150.
Yeah, I guess. That's true. Yeah, I think that's where you learn the first time you go to PAX is man, you don't know what to do and how to do it. I think going back again lets you kind of know man, well, these are the things I want to see. This is how I map it out. This is how I make sure that I get there on time.
Yeah,
it's like Cedar Point, man. If for people who don't know what Cedar Point is, it's a huge amusement park, and it's one of the biggest in the entire world. And you have to really know what rides you want to ride and maximize your time, because a lot of rides will take you, 2-3 hours to ride on. So that's like a good chunk of your day gone just to one ride. And as an example, like we really wanted to try out Oculus, and what was it like? It was like a 2.5 hour line or 3 hour line at one point.
Yeah, it was really long. Yeah, super long.
Yeah, so I don't know. You really got to know like what you want to do and like really like commit to it. And the problem is like Kayla didn't want to commit to anything. She's like, I don't want to wait in line for this.
I'm blaming it all on the wife.
Actually, yeah, she's not here, so I can blame it on her.
Does she listen anymore?
I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
Nobody listens anymore after a 5-week hiatus.
Yeah, no doubt, right? So would you go back?
Yeah, dude, I'm definitely planning on going back next year.
Would you
they're
go
in Boston
back
for
with
another
us?
What makes you think that I would?
I don't know. All the vape hashtags.
Yeah, you fucking asshole. Whatever. I'm not even going to discuss that here. I think the coolest part was, and I wish I would have done this more, because we had kind of planned out, and we were talking about like all the panels that we wanted to see, and we did get into the Major Nelson radio panel, which was really cool. I like super enjoyed that. It gave us a couple day early access to Overwatch, which was nice. Which I didn't even end up using it, but it was still cool that they gave something out for free. And he's just a cool guy. Like the people running up to the stage at the conclusion of the show for like a Q&A was hilarious. Like, and there were some assholes up there too, if you remember, like asking like, well, why aren't you giving us, like, what was it? Like, what was the one guy? Like, what was his thing?
Oh my god. The guy who, like, asked the question. Like, everybody's actually super chill about it. Mm-hmm. And I'm asking great questions. And even the audience was having a good time, like, ribbing back on, like, different things. Like, give them an Xbox One Connect. And, like, all this, like, stupid shit. But, yeah, this one kid gets up there and he's, like, just like, hey, guys, I don't understand why you put 4 gigs in an Xbox when, that's not enough storage space. Like, I just being like,
and he was talking about Xbox 360. It's
yes,
like, dude, get on. Like that console came out 11 years ago. Get over it. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, I was actually really impressed too with Major Nelson. Like, he did a really good job of like either ribbing people back or just like being like super well spoken. Like, I was really impressed. Yeah,
he's been doing this a long time. But I think his response was, dude, go out and buy a 32 gig, flash drive.
Yeah, exactly, right? It's going to cost you, what, $5 at this point? They're so cheap.
Yeah, so cheap. So, yeah, I like that. And then,
I wish we would have done more of those. Like, I wish there would have been, well, I guess I should say I wish there would have been more that I really wanted to go to. I think that was, like, the problem. Like, the first year that I went, dude, it was, I don't know what it was, man. It's just, like, night and day difference. Like, the very first time I went, dude, they had the entire creative crew from BioWare there talking about Mass Effect 2 when it was about to come out. And you got to ask them questions, dude, and they gave you these, like, inflatable, like, arm swords and shit. Like, it was just, like, a totally different experience. There was so many more, like, panels I just wanted to go to. Like, this time, I don't know, man. I was kind of disappointed with the selection that they had.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember hearing about cool panels. And I think, like, maybe we should have just gone to some because maybe the description didn't do justice to the show that they were doing.
I agree.
Like, there was one about gamers who are also into fitness, and from the outside, that doesn't seem that interesting to me because, I mean, like, I'm not like a CrossFit expert or anything like that, But, I don't know, it'd be kind of interesting to hear their takes on, I don't know, that kind of stuff. But the one thing that we were actually able to do, we didn't have to wait in line for 8 hours to do it. We got to check out PlayStation VR.
Oh, shit, dude. I forgot.
And we got hooked up.
We got super fat hooked up.
Yeah, we're not going to say how we got hooked up, but, like, you had to do this stupid thing to sign up for an appointment, and, like, you could only sign up during that day, and they opened up the appointments for that day at, like, 9 a.m., and if you fucking came into the app 2 minutes late, you missed out on your chance.
Dude, I think 2 minutes late is being generous. I think it was even less time than that.
Like 40 seconds. Like, as fast as PAX tickets sold out is as quick as these appointments filled up. So we missed our opportunity. Actually, you had gotten into the app, had locked down an appointment, you went to go confirm it, and it was like, nah, fuck you.
Well, even like John, who was with us, he had actually confirmed an appointment It was locked and loaded. I was trying to confirm mine on my phone when he had already done it on his. Because at first we thought it was like an Android and iOS like issue maybe. Like maybe it just wasn't working on iOS. Mm-hmm. He got in, he confirmed an appointment. We were ready to go. And then I tried and I couldn't. And then all of a sudden his appointment was gone. We just went to double check the time and everything and it disappeared.
Yep.
It was really shady, dude. They did a horrible job. Like, did you get your email asking like your thoughts and opinions about PAX? Like, because I don't know if they just emailed me since I bought the tickets.
I think they probably just emailed you. Yeah, I didn't get one.
Man, that was like two things. Like, I really laid into them about was like having a better construction around like I guess like having like a better partnership with the developers that are there and having them know how to run like demos on their floor. Not that I think they did a bad job of like the demos themselves. I just think that they didn't do a good job of like, hey, here's this game. Here's a 5-minute demo we've created for people to play so that multiple people can enjoy it. It's like a lot of them just had like the full game there, and they let people just fuck around for as long as they wanted to before they'd eventually kick them off. Like, or eventually, I shouldn't say kick them off. They would get bored and just walk away. There was like no control. Like, I wanted to play Below so bad, and we legit stood there for like 20 minutes while the developer just sat there texting on his phone, and there was like 6 people playing the demo. The one guy wasn't even playing. He was just sitting there talking to his friend that was sitting next to him. The controller's sitting on the ground. And like all these people in line just waiting to play, and like nobody gave a shit about it at all. Like that stuff really pissed me off.
Well, yeah, and I also think that the length of the demos, like you kind of talked about, needs to be trimmed down because that PlayStation VR demo did not need to be 30 minutes.
Dude, like
and granted, I'm grateful that I was able to spend, 25, 30 minutes with the demo. It actually wasn't that long, but the appointments were for a half an hour. It's like, no, give people like 7 minutes with that thing maximum and let them move on because I don't know, I guess for lack of better words, I'd like to consider myself media as like media or as a human being. Like you want to keep them wanting more, right? Like as a producer of a product, you're like, let's just give them a tease, give them a little bit of a taste, and then this will make them want to come back. Or, hey, we're going to have these things out in retail stores in July. Let's
check it out then.
Demos. Like you can have a bigger hands-on then, but here, get an idea of the constructs of what this thing is trying to do. And then on a show floor where you have literally tens of thousands of people that want to try this thing out, like that half an hour, too long.
Yeah, and that's the other problem, dude, is like, I think like they would want to create a shorter demo experience so more people could jump in and try it out so they can get more people even excited about it than less people who had a longer experience. Like, that just like really like left me being super salty.
Yeah, well, I'm glad we were able to check it out because between that and the Major Nelson panel, that kind of made PAX for me.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think next year, I don't. Maybe we hop into line, outside the convention center, like an hour ahead of. I don't know. Like, there's a lot of things that we could do differently that maybe we need to think about for next year.
Dude, if you remember that last day, that was actually a bad idea because remember we walked up and there's all those people on like the right hand and left hand side of the lines, and we just walked down the middle and walked right in.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So it didn't even help.
Yeah.
Like, if we would have gotten there and, like, lined up early.
That's true.
Man, like, I don't know, like...
Maybe they'll fix some stuff for next year. We won't have to worry about that sort of thing.
Yeah. The whole badge thing, too, just still kind of, like, threw me off.
Yeah, like, we were there Friday and Saturday, and not once did any of us have our badges checked.
No.
And I don't know if we would have been seen walking around the show floor without a badge around our neck if they would have been like, yo, you guys need to leave. But I didn't even see anything that would have resembled that happening. So it's like, what did we spend $100 on, for 2 passes each to get into the show? Because apparently we didn't even need these things. Now, the shitty part is if we would have showed up there without passes,
you wouldn't have been able to get in.
Then they would have checked, But
yeah, remember the chick
really
from The
weird.
Witcher, too, even made that comment, bro. She's like, just come tomorrow. I know you guys don't have badges, but I don't think they're really even paying attention.
That's right, because they were giving away some
tarot card set or something.
Yeah. No, it's not tarot.
Oh, it was not tarot card, dude. Gwent.
The Gwent, yeah.
Yeah.
So I really wish we could have gotten some of those, but we were trying to get out of there early Sunday.
Yeah.
To get home early enough. But all right, well, that was our PAX conversation. Unless you have anything else that you want to talk about from that experience.
No, man. I mean, that's really it. I mean, it's always a good time. There's some really huge things. I think Sony really held it down. Like, they had a really awesome setup in terms of like what you could see and what you could play. they were like one of the only companies that didn't really, outside of like the PlayStation VR thing, have like lines for the entire event. Like Microsoft, you got to like get in line to get in. Nintendo barely really had anything there, and like it was so crowded. Like you couldn't even get in really to check anything out if you wanted to.
Yeah,
that was kind of disappointing.
It was. We'll probably talk about Nintendo for a few minutes in a little bit.
I'm sure.
But what have you been playing?
Man, so first off, I didn't feel the excitement in your what have you been playing?
What have you been playing, man?
That was too much excitement.
We haven't talked about it. Let's go. What have you been playing, bro?
What you been playing, bro?
What you been playing, man? Come on.
So a lot of it's just been spending my time between Uncharted 4 and Final Fantasy 14. But that's it, man. Like, that's all I've been doing. Like, every single night when Kayla comes home, all she ever wants to do is play Final Fantasy 14. Like, we actually had to go to my parents' house for dinner yesterday for Memorial Day. And it was like half an hour. Had to. We wanted to. It was like half an hour before we had to be there, man. And Kayla was playing, and I was playing too. And I'm like, hey, I was like, let's go ahead and let's stop here because we just finished like a duty. And I was, stop. And I was like, hey, let's stop here and let's just go get ready. She's like, yeah, I'll be up in like 2 seconds. I'm like, all right, cool. So I figured like that meant she was turning her system off, etc. So I put the dogs away, go upstairs, grab my clothes, get dressed. And it's like, I don't know, like 15, 20 minutes later. And I go back down to get her. I'm like, hey, I was like, you ready? She was right in the middle of doing like a raid. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you knew that we had to leave. She's like, oh, it'll just be a few more minutes. I'm like, no, like, my parents said food's going to be done at like 5 o'clock. Like, it's in like 10 minutes. Like, we got to go. And she's like, don't even worry about it. Just go without me. I'll head over as soon as this is done. So I'm like, okay. So I go upstairs. I get in the car and I, take off. I'm like 2 minutes from my parents' house.
Can you come back and get me?
And she texts me. I'll read you the text message because I've never been more infuriated in my entire life.
Oh, God.
I want to make sure that I'm quoting this verbatim. All right. But yeah, like...
This is interesting radio.
This is super interesting radio. I was actually getting really, really annoyed, though, playing Final Fantasy 15 so much. That's all she ever wants to do. Okay. So she texts me and says, you really left. Sad face. Hello. I'm seriously ready. I can't believe you freaking left. Then I went off on a rant on her.
Like, you told me to go without you.
I know. So then she's like, fine, whatever, I won't go. And I just...
What?
Yeah.
She said that
oh my
she
God,
would meet
dude.
you there.
Went off. Like, we had this, like, argument as I drove back to the house to pick her up for, like, a good, like, 10 minutes. So it was so stupid.
Man.
But
it's real dumb.
Yeah. So anyway, that's it. I've been playing Final Fantasy 14, been playing Uncharted 4. I'm, like, 75% of the way through Uncharted 4, so I'm getting pretty close to the end of it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm loving it.
You're liking it,
right? Oh, dude, yeah, it's been so awesome. I'm sure by now you've heard about the whole Crash Bandicoot thing.
Yeah, but I don't want to hear details about it, so.
It's nothing crazy. There's nothing, like, super... It's just a neat little thing that they included for whatever reason. But, yeah, no, I've been having a good time with it, man. I'm really enjoying it. Graphics are amazing. Story's amazing. Gameplay is better than it's ever been. It's definitely.
I hear this story is the best in the franchise to this point, and also like just the mechanics have just evolved since the series, kicked off. 2006 or whatever.
Yeah,
2007.
It's crazy what you can see such like a continuous upgrade in this game ever since the first Uncharted. I kind of feel like Uncharted 3 was like a step backwards. I didn't really care for it as much as I did Uncharted 2. But, I mean, man, this game's been awesome. Was it a step backwards, or was it a case of it doesn't really do much to differentiate itself from 2? I think that's 100% good idea. Like, oh, there we go. I think that's, like, super accurate, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I don't think they took a step backwards. They just didn't take a leap forward.
Yeah, like, you can definitely tell, man. Like, so, you can... It's, like, a glaring difference to see, like... how much more focused this story is and how much more story-driven this one is compared to the previous 3. Like, you can tell there's an absolute difference in terms of, like, who's been behind this project. Like, I don't know when they came in, like, the 2 guys who directed and made Last of Us, like, when Sony brought them into this, or Naughty Dog did, rather. Like, so I don't know how much of the game is committed to them versus, did they start all the way over? How much is left of, like, that Amy Hennig person or whatever. But man, like
Right.
you can tell it is like way more story driven than an Uncharted has ever been before. Like, man, if you play this game too, dude, you will be absolutely blown away by like the facial animations. It's unreal, dude. Like how great they look. It's so incredibly seamless between the game, like moving into like a story driven like cutscene type thing. It's like you couldn't even tell. I don't even know if anything ever leaves like the game engine and goes to like any type of like a CGI type thing. It's like it's that good.
Well, yeah, and I think that's like the major difference between this game and like, well, it's just an overall better game from all accounts. But like Quantum Break, there's a very like off-putting transition between like the CGI cutscenes and like the live action stuff, and then like even from like the game engine to the CG cutscenes to the live action stuff. Whereas like Uncharted, it's seamless. They don't need the live action stuff because they can do their shit good enough, in that game engine. Which is, I don't know if that's a result of Naughty Dog just being amazing at what they do, or if that is the power of the PS4 versus, the Xbox One or what, but, yeah, I really want to play that game.
Yeah, it's
really good.
I mean, like, you have a PS4, right?
Yeah, dude, I was telling you, like, yesterday that none of my consoles are plugged in right now.
Hey, I'll probably be done with it this week. I mean, if you want to borrow one, I'm done, man. It's all you.
I might have to take you up on that. I've got to get these things plugged back in because I miss my consoles a little bit. Not a whole lot.
not a ton. Just some.
Not a ton. Just enough to, scratch that itch, I guess.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, to kind of go back for a second about Amy Hennig, like when she left, man, like everybody's like, what's going to happen with Uncharted 4? Is this game going to suck? The answer is no. Is like how much of that, I don't know, how much of that was her, like lasting impression on that studio as far as like from a story standpoint, because the story apparently is better than, like I said, it's ever been. And I don't know. But I am still like super interested to see what she's doing over for at EA.
Yeah, she's with who is it? The guys who made Dead Space. Oh, what is the name of that studio? It starts with a V.
Visceral.
Visceral, yeah. She's with them working on the new Star Wars game, dude. And apparently it's going to be pretty huge, man. They're saying it's like 3 years out. So, I mean, they're really looking at this to be a huge game.
Yeah, then there's also the rumors of Respawn working on a new Star Wars.
I saw that.
IP,
dude, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, which we'll get into that in a second. But have you been playing anything else?
No, man. Basically, just like those two games, like my summer's gonna be pretty much tied up until this fall. So like I'm not like super disappointed. There's not like a ton of stuff coming out. Like I just picked up that Valkyria Chronicles remaster for the PS4, so I'm excited to play through that again. I just picked up Darkest Dungeon. I don't know if you've seen this game at all on Steam.
Mm-mm.
Dude, check it out, man. Like, I just started messing around with it. Like, the art is absolutely phenomenal in this. It's like a side-scrolling, like, hack-and-slash game, but it's like a turn-based strategy game. So it's an RPG, but it's incredibly unforgiving. Like, when your character dies in this game, like, he's dead and gone. Kind of like Fire Emblem in a way.
Is it like a roguelike then?
Yeah, like just like
okay.
If you have a chance, like while we're talking, like just go to Steam, just pull it up and take a look at it, dude. It looks absolutely beautiful. And so I picked up that. That was on sale the other day, like half off. And then I just picked up Stellaris. So it's like a real time like strategy space simulation game.
I've heard a lot about Stellaris recently.
I'm so pumped, dude. Did you ever play Homeworld?
You should. No, but I do want to dude. You should stream Stellaris. I want to see it played.
I really am excited to play this, dude. Like, as soon as I'm done with Uncharted, I'm going to jump into Stellaris.
Now, that one's $40, right?
Yeah. Okay. I traded in some games. Actually, you know what? I actually ended up getting rid of The Division. And
yeah,
I traded that in.
I don't blame you there.
Dude, all my friends got rid of it. Everybody I was playing with on Xbox Live. It went from a situation of where every single night, every single person, that's all they were doing was playing Division. And now it's every single person is not playing Division.
What I'll say is, and this might be the only props that I've given Destiny in the last year, but Destiny found a way to hook people in and keep them in there, and I think that was the overall vision for that game when they set out to create it, and I don't think that Ubisoft was able to capture that same, I don't know, mentality to get into like the psyche of the player, the way that Bungie was.
Yeah, I still see people on Destiny. I don't see anybody ever on Division anymore.
And I haven't played Division since 2 weeks after launch, so if that tells you anything.
Yeah.
I can't trade mine in, though, because well,
you got it for free anyways.
It was, free with my keyboard or whatever, so. But yeah,
what about you, man?
Yeah, dude, I've been playing Rocket League still, because that's like kind of my go-to, and I just want to kill some time.
It's an easy game to jump into and play, right? I mean,
it really is. Like, matches take 10 minutes at most. It's just easy to get in and get out. I've been playing and getting more and more. As time goes on, I'm beginning to love Overwatch more. It was on my list of most anticipated games to come out for this year. But when I played the beta and even like the first week since release, I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. I want to like it. Like it seems like it's checking all the right boxes, but I'm not feeling it. And I found out like the recipe. The recipe is play as a team, play with friends, the people that you know, and try out different characters to see who you really like, and play in a way that's going to contribute to the success of your team. And I think if you remember all those things, like you're gonna like have a really good time with that game. Like I can be a healer. There's a character called Mercy. And my job is to make sure that my teammates are healed and that I'm buffing them, giving them extra like attack power or whatever. And I might die, 12 times in a match and only get like 3 kills. But that's fine because my goal is not to, kill enemies. My goal is to keep my team from dying and reviving them whenever I can, to ensure a victory. And that game is so good, dude. Like I really wish that you'd give it a shot.
It's so tough, man, because that's like the kind of game, like at least like Diablo, like I can jump into and I can play by myself and have a good time with it. I can jump in and I can probably play with some randos and have a good time with it because it doesn't really require a lot of like strategy and teamwork for the most part. And Overwatch, it's just like it's too. You have to have like people you want to play with like on a nightly basis. Like, you guys all have to be into it, and you all have to play. That's, like, why I couldn't get into Evolve. Like, if you just don't have a team of people working together towards a common goal, then it's not going to work. And I think that's, like, my problem with a game like Overwatch is everybody wants to do their own thing, and unless you're playing with people that you know that are going to strategize and have, like, a dedicated healer, dedicated tank, just classes that you need to have to overcome a match and win, then it's not going to work. And I just don't have like that group of people to consistently play with anymore for something like this.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, like when the game finally clicked for me, I was actually playing by myself. We were at the character select screen right before the match started, and people were choosing their characters, and on like the right-hand side of the screen, it shows you, hey, you've got too many snipers, or hey, you don't have enough attack power, or hey, you need more support players, you need more healers, like whatever it might be, you need a tank. So if you like are paying attention to that side and you have like a character that you like to play as in each of the categories, you can kind of figure out like where your team needs coverage. So when that finally clicked for me, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna learn 1 or 2 characters from each of these classes. That way, if somebody else is playing the same character from that class, I have another character as a backup. So I mean, you have to know like how to play like 8 characters, but I don't know, dude. I had so much fun with it. I had more fun with friends, but it did click for me, and I did enjoy myself playing without a group. Obviously, more fun with friends, but at this point, I'm repeating myself. But no, dude, I think you should try it out.
You
man.
still had
like,
a good time with like randos.
I really did, and that game is good. That's going to be a game that I play for a long time. I might. This game has legs the way that Destiny had legs for me for about 14, 15 months, maybe even beyond that. There's still people playing League of Legends. That game came out in 2011.
Yeah.
So it'd be cool if this was that type of game. My buddy spent $40 on loot chests on.
Oh my god.
Overwatch. I couldn't think of the name. We're talking about it. And then what I've been sinking most of my time into playing recently is a bunch of Super Nintendo games. And I'm having a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah, you said you're on you're going to be on game 9. You said, right? Because you've beaten 8 games so far.
Yeah. So to kind of give you guys an idea of what I'm doing, I'm on Twitch streaming almost every night or every day, and I'm trying to beat as many Super Nintendo games as possible. I guess the goal is to beat them all, but we'll see if that ever happens. If it does, it'll take years. But I'm going through and I'm playing one game from each letter in successive order. So the first game I beat was Aladdin, and then I beat Bust a Move. And then I'll give you my list. Chester Cheetah, Too Cool to Fool, Donkey Kong Country, Earthworm Jim, which was a pain in the fucking ass. That game took me near 20 hours to beat. That was E. F, I beat F-Zero. G was The Great Waldo Search, I think. That game was something. H was Hit the Ice, and I'm going to do the incredible. What did I say the other day? In my text messages, the incredible Crash Dummies or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Some Crash Dummy game. So I've beaten like 7 or 8 games. So I think it's 8 so far, and I've done it in just over a month. So I guess if I keep up this pace, it'll probably take me like 10 years to beat every Super Nintendo game ever made. But I'm having a lot of fun doing it. Like, some games are super quick. Like, Waldo took me 15 minutes to beat.
That's
15
pretty dumb.
minutes. There's 5 levels, and all you have to do is find 2 items from each of those levels. You have to find Waldo
Seriously?
and find a scroll. That's it. Like, if I would have bought that game or had that game purchased for me when I was younger, I'd be so mad. Like, my mom just spent like $75 on the Super Nintendo cartridge for me, and I'm done with it in 15 minutes. What is this garbage?
Dude, oh my god, that's so crazy, like, remembering, too, like, how expensive, like, Nintendo and Super Nintendo cartridges were.
Dude, and the shitty thing about that game is the placement of Waldo and the other item that you have to find do not move for each playthrough that you do. So it's in the same spot. So it's
every
not even
single
like you
time.
get every single time. There's no replayability.
Oh, that's really bad.
And then I played it on normal, and then I'm like, and I'm doing a timer and everything, and like counting how many attempts that I make in each game.
Yeah.
So I stopped my timer after I beat it on normal because that was like my win condition, quote unquote. And then I was like, you know what, I'm going to try this on hard just to see if it's any more difficult. I actually beat it faster. I beat it in like 8 minutes. I'm like, this is so dumb.
That's awesome.
But then you've got games like Earthworm Jim. You know, that game was so frustrating. I actually think that I ended up knocking the difficulty down on that one. And then F-Zero, that took me about 5.5 hours to beat. And you don't have to do much. You just have to beat 15 races to complete that game. But the fucking AI in that goddamn game is so ridiculous that I'd be going around a corner. You know, I'm doing well. They hit me, and then I just start getting hit like a pinball back and forth by like the bumpers on the racetrack. And that game, like, if you hit, you know, enemy cars or if you run into walls enough, like, you blow up and you lose a life. So, I was actually talking to a buddy. I'm like, how cool would it be if Nintendo has an F-Zero game ready for a next launch?
Dude, how long has it been since we've even seen an F-Zero game?
I think GameCube, man. Like, early GameCube, like 2003 maybe?
Dude, people loved that game, too. It was F-Zero X, wasn't it?
Yeah, GX or something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that, I don't know. But he had said, like, yeah, that would be cool if they made an F-Zero game, but what they need to do is make, like, an F-Zero maker. Like Super Mario
Oh
Maker.
my god, dude, that'd be badass.
Create tracks and stuff, like, really fuck some people over. I think it'd be super cool.
Well, they used to do that with, whatchamacallit, Excite Bike. You had, like, a track builder, like, an editor built into the game.
Dude, do you remember Excite Truck on the Wii?
Yes, I do.
That game was awesome, man. That game does not get enough credit.
I don't know about awesome.
I'm a big proponent of Excite Truck.
Are you?
Huge proponent. But yeah, if you guys want to follow my Super Nintendo adventures, hop on over to twitch.tv/feelthefriction, and that's friction spelled with a K instead of a C. So, yeah, I'm having a lot of fun, man. I think you should do something like this. You should do NES games, though. You've got that analog. You should put it to good use.
Yeah. I've thought about it.
But you don't... Well, that's my thing, too, is, like, I play so many of these Super Nintendo games that there are other games that I might want to play more, but I'm, like, committed to doing this thing.
Yeah.
That I feel like I'm losing out on time playing stuff like Salt and Sanctuary, which I've only spent a half an hour with, and I really want to play through.
Yeah, how is that game so far, man? I heard it's like the Dark Souls of, like, side-scrolling games.
Yeah, so, I mean, there's, like, upgrades, and, like, it's an RPG. It's a side-scrolling RPG, Dark Souls-like game, and it's hard, man. Like, I don't know, if you're not blocking or if you're not paying attention, you'll get fucked, and like you're going around collecting gold and like this stuff called salt, which salt's kind of like your experience because you use that to upgrade.
Okay.
Your like level for your character and stuff. So I could collect on one life, I can collect like 800 salt. And then if I'm not careful and I die, I might lose like 790 of that 800 collected salt, and I've got to go back to where I died to collect it up. But every time I've gone back to try to collect my salt and gold and like everything else that I dropped, it's always gone. I think what you have to do is you have to kill the same character that killed you.
Okay.
But I don't know, man. Like I said, I've only spent like a half an hour with it, and I want to spend a ton more time with it. But man, these Super Nintendo challenges are
just occupying your time.
Yeah, dude. Like that's life right now.
Yeah.
So, you want to hop straight into like some news stuff? We don't really have an outline, but I think we can kind of talk about stuff that's really caught our eye over the last month or so.
Yeah, there's been a lot of stuff going on, man. Like, not on the Nintendo side, but on like the Microsoft side especially, and a little bit on the Sony side. There's a lot of stuff being talked about right now. Let's do it.
Yeah, dude, I think one of the biggest things, and you guys are all probably well aware of this by now, but Giant Bomb broke a story about these rumors that were happening around the conversation about PlayStation 4K, which we were able to talk about before. Actually, we covered all that, didn't we?
Yeah,
all the Neo
stuff we did for sure.
Yeah, we covered all that.
Yep.
But now the thing is, like with the Neo basically getting confirmed, we might expect to see it at E3. Is that there has been some revelations about what Microsoft's kind of answer to that would be, and the answer is a PlayStation Slim potentially this year. Probably getting revealed at E3, which would come with a smaller form factor. So they're saying up to 40% smaller than the current model, which is crazy.
Because the PS4 is already pretty small compared to...
Yeah, like 40% I think would put it probably around the same size, maybe even a little bit smaller than a PS4.
So it's going to make it's going to be like PlayStation 2 to PlayStation 2 Slim dramatic. If you remember that, like how much bigger...
Yeah, I think it probably would be similar to something like that. But I think that the original Xbox 360 model to like the not the Elite but the Slim Xbox 360, I think that was like a 30% reduction in size.
Was it?
So it might not seem like, I don't know. Volume is a weird thing to measure when you're doing like percentages and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But anyways, they're also saying a 2 terabyte internal hard drive.
Oh no shit!
For the Xbox Slim.
I didn't hear that. That's awesome.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's definitely needed. I think I've got the 500 gig model, and then I've got a 1 terabyte external, and I'm running close to being, done with that hard drive. I've got maybe 150 gigs left on that thing, so 2 or 3 more games, and I'm out. So 2 terabytes would be kind of a nice thing for people coming into an Xbox for the first time.
Yeah, that would be really legit.
And then the other thing that is kind of going on with Microsoft is that Project Xbox Scorpio may have been leaked. So Scorpio is an internal code name for this project that is supposedly like the Xbox 1.5, Xbox One 1.5. I don't like that naming convention.
Yeah, I wonder what they would call it.
I think they would call it... All right, you ready? This is my prediction. Xbox One, parentheses, 2016.
You think so? It'll just be something that
simple?
Or
2017. Yeah, like, look at what iPhone does. I mean, they have, like, iPhone 6 and 6S. Maybe it's just the Xbox One S.
Hey, speaking of iPhone, did you see the announcement today?
I did not.
They're saying that Apple is going to be reverting to a 3-year cycle for iPhones. So
I feel like
through the iPhone 7, we wouldn't see another iPhone for 3 years.
That seems like a very un-Apple-like move.
Right? But it's been, like, everywhere.
Sense.
Like, everyone's been, like, having this conversation that's, like, the huge rumor that Apple's going to make an announcement about it.
I feel like that makes sense, but only if batteries in the phone can sustain a 3-year life cycle,
right.
which they don't.
Yeah.
Historically have never done, so. But what are you seeing about the Xbox One Scorpio, Michael? Like, what are, like, the kind of key hitting points here?
So here are the big takeaways so far from it is, and this we'll kind of like do like a little bit of like a background of current performance of current systems versus the theoretical numbers of the new systems. So to kind of throw it out there, as of right now, the current Xbox One is believed to operate at a peak target of 1.32 teraflops. That's like a performance number I guess we can kind of relate to like how well the system will run. Now, the PlayStation 4 is currently running at a peak number of 1.84. So a little bit more powerful, which we've seen that, in gameplay, right? We've seen higher resolutions, we've seen more consistent frame rates, or higher frame rates. So it kind of goes along with that. So this is pretty insane, man. So the new PlayStation 4 is going to be 2.25 times more powerful, which will make it run at 4.14 teraflops.
Right.
The Xbox One Scorpio is targeted to hit 6 teraflops.
5 times more powerful, basically.
That's insane, dude.
And what are the applications for that? Like, why make a device that's 5 times more powerful than what you have?
So,
I mean, I know the answer.
I know you do. I know you're probing me to talk about it. So, the big conversation has been 4K resolution gaming, like 4K resolution gaming,
not just
movies.
Output. Okay.
So that's crazy. Then also, too, there's been a lot of conversation that Microsoft is trying to get Oculus support to the Xbox One to compete with PlayStation VR.
I think I have some thoughts on this.
Imagine buying a VR device that is compatible not only with your super high-end gaming console, but then also with your potential future high-end PC, or just your current high-end PC.
Like, Oculus Rift is inherently a more universal device than a PlayStation VR. It'll work on multiple platforms, it'll work on multiple PCs, Xboxes, like whatever, if this ends up being true. My only concern is, how expensive is Scorpio going to be to power an Oculus Rift? Because you need a GTX 970 at a minimum to run VR at a playable frame rate and performance level.
Yeah.
And that is, I mean, up until this week is like a $380 card.
Yeah.
Until the 1070 comes out, which is coming out in like the next 10 days or so. The 1080 just got released like 3 days ago. But with that all being said, I can't see how Microsoft can put the hardware needed to run Oculus Rift into one of their consoles for a price to make consumers want to purchase.
Well,
that's my concern.
None, and I agree with you. I think does Microsoft go from like one end of the pendulum to the other, and that they feel they're getting beat so bad by the PlayStation 4 and they need to make up ground so incredibly high that they drop the price of the Xbox One, which they just did. Introductory price now is $299. They just announced it today. So,
like this is like a permanent thing?
Yep. Well, they say limited time, but you know how that goes with Microsoft. So they dropped the price of the Xbox One, I think, to get rid of them. So they have the new Xbox One come out. That's the slim model. That's cheaper. Let's say maybe that one comes in at $250.
Okay.
So then after that, now if they launch the new Xbox One at $399 or $4, I think that they want to come back and they want to beat Sony at the game that Sony beat them at, which is a more powerful console for a cheaper price. And I think that they're willing to take that gamble that they can gain back all this market share if they release a more powerful system at a really aggressive price point.
So then Microsoft would be then losing money on every console. If they sold it at $400, they would have to lose money on every system sold,
So,
I think.
you know what? Or maybe they kind of go the route of making this like the Uber Experience Elite system. So maybe it comes with a solid-state drive inherent. Maybe it comes with an Xbox One Elite controller. And maybe it comes out at $499.
So,
or $4.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe. I mean, I guess they would probably wait to see what Sony launches their Neo at.
Well, they don't have the
price accordingly.
But maybe they don't even have a choice because Microsoft goes first in E3 next week.
I don't think they're going to announce price. If they do announce Scorpio, I don't think they announce price right away.
You don't think so?
No. What I think might happen though, and think about this. I'm going to give you like two different scenarios. Microsoft's on stage, and they feel forced to have to talk about Scorpio because it's been in the news. They were already planning on talking about the Slim console, but these reports have been coming out where it's been, hey, like there's going to be this thing, which is the Slim console, and then there's going to be this thing, which is the Pro console, for lack of better words. If Microsoft confirms one but doesn't talk about the other, then it's kind of like there's been reports about this. We know that you guys are hiding the Scorpio. Like, just talk about it. You know what I mean? It basically confirms it. By them confirming the Slim, it confirms the Scorpio.
And I think, like, too, like, the problem is do they feel compelled to have to talk about it because they don't know if Sony's going to talk about the Neo? And they don't want to put themselves in a position to where they don't even talk about it, and then Sony announces the Neo and talks about it because they want to, again, one up Microsoft. And now the whole thing coming out of E3 is just Neo, Neo, Neo.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, what do you think about this, though? Instead of Microsoft selling an Xbox One Scorpio at, let's say, $500, I think they would have to charge $500 for it for them to not, like, just get killed on, like, manufacturing costs and, you know, whatever, selling it at a loss, basically. What if for $800 you get the Xbox One Scorpio with an Oculus Rift?
Oh my god, dude. Well, this is the problem, though, is, well, I guess we kind of already know that, and Sony's even said, too, like, as much as they, I guess, can, we're not seeing these systems till 2017. Because
Right.
my only problem with that would be is Oculus availability. Like, it's just not available anywhere. Like, we got them in at Best Buy,
That's true.
and, you know, they were gone in, like, a matter of seconds. So, I mean, they can fulfill, you know, Kickstarter pre-orders, like backer pre-orders. So, I don't know, man. It'll be tough for something like that. I think it would be awesome if they did that.
I think that's, I don't know, that gets the install base for people that want VR to get, like, a really, truly inexpensive way into VR. I mean, even cheaper than PlayStation VR at this point. And I think Oculus is like, hell yeah, like, we'll let you package that shit in to get it into more homes, you know? Like, for them, it's install base.
It really is,
You know,
and it helps them take away from, you know, all of the pros that are out there about the Vive. You know, I think it makes sense.
So, and then the other kind of rumor that's coming out around this is that apparently there's a lot of development studios working on quote-unquote Xbox VR games. And actually, I was listening to a podcast earlier today. It was recorded Sunday and released on Monday from the guys over at DLC, stating that on the E3 website under Microsoft, there was a section that was mistakenly put up called Microsoft VR. So I don't know if that confirms anything or if it was a mistake or what, but it kind of seems like a weird mistake to have made for that E3, you know, website. So I don't know. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on around video games. Who thought that there was a potential of us seeing 2 new consoles this year at E3, but not one of them was going to be Nintendo?
Dude, I think, like, you and I had this conversation the other day, and I think that it puts Nintendo, I think it puts them in a good position. I think it gives them an opportunity to hear what their competition's going to be, and it gives them a chance to potentially tweak and react to it. Maybe they've built the NX at the really high-end spectrum. Like, we heard rumors for a while of, like 12 gigs of RAM in this system. Right. So maybe it gives them an opportunity to spec the system really high to be comparable to whatever Sony and Microsoft might announce, and then maybe can kind of tweak it down a little bit or tweak it up if they need to, because they haven't committed to anything because they're not talking about it. So they're actually being kind of smart about this if that's what they're doing, if they're doing that specifically because they want to see what their competition's going to do. But I feel that they're not doing that, and it's just Nintendo being Nintendo.
Yeah, Nintendo will always be Nintendo.
Indeed.
So, and I don't know, the more I think about it, man, like, the more I get bummed out, number one, because I want to know stuff about NX, and as much as I want to see the new Zelda, I don't need to see only Zelda at E3. But the more I think about it, the more I think, like, maybe that the NX isn't a console the way that we think of consoles today, and I can't even, like, form, like, I don't know, any comprehensive thoughts about what that might mean. But I don't know. I don't think this is going to be a normal thing for Nintendo. The NX is going to be something just truly off the wall and weird, and I'm both excited and apprehensive to see what that might be. But I don't know. We'll see. Speaking of Nintendo, there was rumors not too long ago about something called MH, Nintendo MH, which people just assumed stood for mobile handheld. It just supposedly the successor to the 3DS. It was talked about in a financial earnings report, so it kind of got the hype train rolling again for Nintendo for about a day. Regarding, hey, like, NX is coming, but so is this mobile thing, maybe. But nobody's really been able to speculate beyond that, like, what it could be. So, that kind of keeps you up to date on all the new console stuff, I guess. I don't know, like, what else has been going on in the world of gaming over, like, the last month? It's been kind of slow, man.
It really has. Like, we saw the obvious 2 trailers for Call of Duty Infinite Warfare and for Battlefield 1, and complete hate for one and love for the other one, to the point of where one is the most hated YouTube video of all time and the other one is the most loved YouTube video of all time. So I think it's kind of funny, but I don't know. I think it kind of goes along with like where people are at. Like, that trailer was incredibly horrible for Infinite Warfare, and even to the point to where the CEO came out and made a comment and said, hey, people love us that much that, you know, they're willing to tell us how they feel when we do something wrong, and that just shows you how strong our community is, or some stupid shit like that.
Some weird ass justification for like
totally
for like 300,000 like thumbs downs on YouTube.
Yep.
Or whatever it was. I mean, it was over 1 million.
They know what's going on, and they know like their market, and they know that I will buy that game just because of the Modern Warfare 1 remaster.
Yeah, and they're going to be able to get $80 out of you for it.
Yep,
so
100%. I saw it to the point where people were saying like, "Oh, that's really nice of Activision. They're giving you a free game with the Modern Warfare 1 remaster." And I mean, it's true. Like, I'm really not going to play Infinite Warfare. I'll probably take that game and just trade it in after I use the coupon code.
I mean, that's probably the way most of Call of Duty fans are looking at that. Is like, hey, I'm getting a free game with this game that came out, 7 years or 9 years ago.
Yeah, dude, the remaster looks good, man. Have you watched videos comparing?
Nah, not yet. I need to get back into Call of Duty. I haven't played Call of Duty probably since Black Ops 2.
Yeah, which they just added to backwards compatibility for Xbox One.
Yeah?
Yeah. It may not have been Black Ops 2. It may have been Black Ops 1. I can't remember, but they added one of them.
Okay. I want to kind of talk about something real quick. If it'll be quick, we'll see. So No Man's Sky, this is newsworthy, got pushed. I believe the date was from June 22nd, which was the original release date intended, to, I believe it's August 10th.
Man, that's really weird. You're off by one day on both of those. It was August 21st, really? And it was June 21st, and it's August 9th.
That's really weird.
It's really strange.
I don't know. Huh. Okay. Anyways, so yeah, June 21st, we were expecting to get, 3 weeks from today, basically, we were expecting to get No Man's Sky. And that's not going to happen anymore, so August 9th is the new date, so it got pushed back by about 6 weeks, which I'll be the first one to admit, I'm super excited for that game, and I'm a little bit disappointed that this game is not going to make it here in the next 3 weeks. Instead, I've got to wait, 9.
Do you mind if I ask you a question real quick?
Yeah.
So, Kayla and I were coming back from grabbing ice cream yesterday, and I was talking to her about No Man's Sky and the delay. So, you think, like, when a game gets delayed, right? Mm-hmm. So, think about where, Zelda got delayed, right? By almost a year. So, it tells you, I think, a couple stories could be happening. Number one, they've added so much new stuff that they need to really ensure that it's 100% complete, or they want to keep adding more and more and more to make it an even bigger and better game. So I think that's one side, and the other side is like, hey, this game is fucked. We got a lot of shit that we got to fix in this, and we gotta work hard to get it done. There's no way we're gonna make our release date, and that's like a year, right? So what story do you think is being told when a game gets delayed by 3 weeks? Because you think, if anything, I don't know.
Well, by 6 weeks. In this case.
Yeah. So you think, I don't know, but I would have to imagine, the turnaround time to master the game, it go gold, it go printed, and then, go out for retail sale. I mean, it's got to be about a good 2 weeks, 3 weeks before the game actually physically is available. So how much time do they really have that they're working on this? So, what could really be holding the game back that they could only want to work on it for just a handful of weeks?
Well, maybe it was something that, I don't know, maybe they noticed an issue with the game, something that was broken about the game back in February, and they were like, okay, we could maybe still hit this time frame, and then, we're getting closer, and it's creeping up on us, and maybe the 6 weeks, maybe they'll finish fixing the issue by the end of June, but maybe to cert it to, I don't know, like whatever it might be. Like, this could have been an issue that came up months ago that they've been trying to resolve, and just couldn't get it fixed before launch, but they need the extra time to certify it, to print the discs, to get it into people's hands, like whatever it might be. I don't know. Whatever the issue was, it wasn't a year-long issue, obviously, but I don't think it's just polishing the game.
No.
You know, making it look better. I think it was like something happened in development for this game. This is just my guess. Something happened in development for that game, and that game is huge. Procedurally generated, you're talking billions of planets. Something was bound to happen, right?
But something that's only going to take them a handful of weeks to finish and fix?
But like I said, this may have been an issue that they saw months ago that they are basically almost done fixing it, but they do need a little bit of extra time. Don't look at it from a sense of they need 6 more weeks to fix an issue, so it's not going to take them 6 weeks to fix the issue. It's going to take them 6 weeks plus the amount of time that they've already been working on fixing it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. You don't think they're going to pull a Mighty Number 9?
I don't know. We'll see. That very well could happen.
Do you think we're really going to get that game, by the way? I mean,
Mighty Number 9? No, never going to happen.
We're 22 days away, man. Actually, not even that, I don't think.
Well, so 22 days that game comes out, in 15 days that game will get delayed again. No, I think if it would have gotten delayed again, we would have heard about it by now.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But like what I was going to say was, so that game got delayed. There were some really upset, disappointed people. I was disappointed, but I was not angry. I was not death-threatening people on Twitter. I was not saying that I was going to kill what's the guy's name from Hello Games? I don't know, president, CEO, like lead design guy. I don't know, whatever his name is. Look it up for me so that our fans don't yell at us again. But like, I'm not death threatening people. I'm not saying I'm going to kill you. I'm not telling reporters who are reporting on the story that I'm going to kill them because I don't like the story. Somehow they wrote the story and that makes it true. So now I want to kill that person. Like, what the fuck is wrong with people? Like now I'm on my soapbox.
It's not like that intense.
It's not. Like, Mighty Number 9's a different story because, number one, you were really upset by Mighty Number 9, but your reaction was not, I'm going to kill Kenji Inafune.
No.
Your reaction was like, what the fuck are they doing? Are they dumb? Can they just get this shit out? This was promised like a year and a half ago. You know, that was your response. It wasn't, you know, bigotry and derogatory remarks and kill you, kill that. Like, I don't know. People have like this sense of anonymity on the internet, and they think they can get away with saying whatever they want. But I don't know. There's so much wrong with like society, and I'm not gonna get into like this whole big political stink about it. But just be nice to each other, man. Games are fun. They're hard to make too. Just like be disappointed, but don't take it overboard. I don't know. That's my spiel.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that part of the problem is developers committing to these time frames, and I never would say that. Like, I think like Hello Games committed to something.
Sean Murray,
okay. Like, I don't think that like they committed like super hard. Like, hey, we promise 100% this game will be out like this month. So to me, they weren't as big of a disappointment when that got delayed. Like, it happens. Like you said, it's a huge world. It's a huge game. They are a small studio, but I guarantee that Sony is helping them. Especially for being like more of an exclusive game to their platform, even though it is coming out for PC. To me, what's more disappointing is like Nintendo delaying Zelda after like they promised twice in a row, like, hey, it will be out this year, we promise. And then it gets delayed again. And then again. I mean,
that was a game that was supposed to be out in 2015.
Yeah.
You know, and there are some upset people, you know, about that, but you don't see Nintendo fan 872
like going fucking ape shit.
Yeah, tweeting at Onama saying, like, hey, fuck you, you're gonna die. You know what I mean?
I know where you live.
Or maybe somebody did death threat Awada. Is that too soon?
That is too soon.
Man, my bad.
Kind of
I'm gonna take that back.
It's alright.
But no, like, would you rather get the game in a broken state and it, like, completely ruin the experience for you at launch and then to a point, like, where you don't want to come back to the game? Or would you rather wait 6 more weeks, get this polished product and enjoy yourself thoroughly, even though it's a little bit later than you thought it was going to be?
You know,
because personally, that's the way I would.
I knew you were going to say, dude. I'm going to be honest, man. I honestly rather get the game and have it kind of buggy and still be able to fuck around and play it and enjoy it. And then, when the update comes out and it fixes it, I'll keep playing.
But we also don't know how big of an issue.
I know. It could have been something really huge.
But we also don't know that there was an issue at all.
Yeah.
They won't say anything about it. That's just my take on it is that there was probably some bug that they needed to fix.
I'm sure. Like you said, it's probably something they've been working on for a while.
Yeah. Well, that's that. Those are kind of like the big news stories over the last, 5 weeks or so. If you guys want to send us some suggestions for news stories or just anything in gaming in general that you want us to talk about, do that at podcast@start-reset.com. That's where you can send the emails, or visit our Facebook page at facebook.com/start-reset-podcast. Before we go, Michael and I are going to give some E3 predictions, some stuff that we think might happen at E3. So, Michael, do you want to start? Do you want to go back and forth? How many predictions do you want to do? You want to do 3?
Yeah, I was going to say, let's stick to a couple. So we'll stick to 3. Like, what are our big 3 predictions? And what we'll do is, I'm going to write them down. Give me a second here. So we can keep track on if either of us were right.
Okay.
And how many we were right about. All right.
And the winner gets a free blowjob.
From
Just
Jeremy's
kidding.
mom.
That was weird.
That was weird. All right, cool.
So same thing. If you guys have E3 predictions, make sure you email or visit our Facebook and send us our way. If you get them in by when does E3 start? E3 starts on the we'll say the 12th of June, which is a Sunday.
Yep.
If you guys can get your predictions in by Friday the 10th, I don't know. If you guys make up like this crazy idea that something might happen, let's say Nintendo lied and they actually are going to introduce the NX, and you hit it on the head, man, and like it's just something that nobody expected, I might have something for free for you. So go ahead and send us those suggestions or E3 predictions to our email or Facebook page, which I mentioned just a few moments ago. Are you ready? Do you have these?
I do.
Do you have the document?
Now, to set up a ground rule for this, you can't make a very predictable prediction. Like, I can't say, like, hey, we're going to hear about PlayStation Neo.
Right, be specific.
Yes. So,
okay.
Number 1, Star Wars 1313 is back in production.
Whoa! Dude, that would be nuts.
And Amy Hennig is the one heading that game.
Do you think it's Amy Hennig, or do you think it's Respawn?
Nope, I think it's, ooh. I'm going to go Amy Hennig. I'm going to go Versical Game, or Vesical Games, whatever.
So basically, Amy Hennig came over to EA, and she was like, "Yo, you guys want me to work on something? Let me see everything you had on Star Wars 1313." You think that's what happened?
Yes. So this is why, though. So who else did you say? Respawn.
Respawn.
So Respawn, very first-person shooter-oriented video game. Vesical Games or whatever, always very third-person.
But to combat that, EA has DICE working on Battlefront, so why do we need another first-person shooter?
But it won't. It's going to be a third-person shooter.
A third-person shooter.
Correct.
A third... Maybe like a Star Wars like bounty hunter game? That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like third-person over-the-shoulder bounty hunter
Yeah.
game? Okay.
That's okay. So I'll go. Now it's your turn. You'll go. We'll kind of like alternate here.
All right, so
that's my prediction.
Your prediction was Amy Hennig is working on a... is it going to be called Star Wars 1313?
You know what?
Could it be a rebranding?
This is tough. So do I just say, hey, 13 and 13, Star Wars 1313 is back? Or
how
do
about
I
if
say...
How about if EA announces at their EA Play event, if they announce that Amy Hennig is working on a project and reference Star Wars 1313, that counts.
Okay.
All
right.
Okay?
I'll go with that.
Or if we can look at it and see like visual similarities between the two, then we'll know. It'll be kind of like
pretty obvious, yeah. Okay. Cool. That's my number 1.
Tell me if this is too vague or too like whatever. So I think that Microsoft will come in. They will announce they're going to announce three new products, 3 new hardware products.
Okay.
Okay, so product number 1 is going to be the Xbox One Slim model. I think it's going to have a 1 terabyte hard drive.
I'm locking you into this.
Okay, 1 terabyte hard drive. It's going to be for $249.99, $250. It's going to be basically the same, like it's basically the Xbox One that we have now, but in different form factor.
Okay. So all the same hardware, just larger hard drive.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to kill the Kinect port on this model
To make it cheaper.
Yes, they're going to to make it cheaper. They're going to kill the Kinect port on this model.
You know what? I really believe that Microsoft is going to add in some type of like voice recognition only to this new Xbox.
Okay.
Like they eliminate Kinect and they just add just audio support. Like Amazon Echo or
like
something
into the
like
console?
that. Yes.
Okay.
That's not a prediction.
I'm not going to go that No, that's fine. But yeah, good to get it into the ears of the public. Okay, so that's one thing. They're going to kill the Kinect port, slim model, $250. They're also going to announce the Scorpio, but be very vague about it. They're not going to announce price, but they will say, hey, this is going to be VR ready. I don't think they're ready to announce Oculus support, so make sure you write that.
I am.
No Oculus announced yet. But they are going to market this at E3 in a very, this is the pro level Xbox One. This is the one. If you're hardcore, this is what you want.
Okay.
And the way they're gonna position those two is like, hey, if you want to play some games, but you're not like a hardcore gamer, we have a solution for you, and that's gonna be the slim model, right? But hey, if you want the latest and greatest in games starting next year, we'll announce more about the Scorpio later. And then the third thing I think they'll have is they're just going to call it Xbox. It's just going to be called Xbox, this third item. And it's going to be an Amazon Fire style solution with all the apps that you can get, really utilizing the Universal Windows platform for applications. But you're not going to be able to play games on it. It's going to be for apps like Netflix and stuff like that. And it's going to be able to read DLNA stuff from your PC. So let's say you've got some media stored on your Windows 10 computer at home. It'll stream it to this streaming box. So it's a hardware solution, but more for media solutions. You know what I mean? So it's a Xbox streaming box. It's branded as an Xbox, but it is not for playing games.
I like that.
Or it plays games, but just small little apps. Not full game experiences. So, we'll call it the Apple TV. 2015 Apple TV of the Xbox. Cool? 3 different pieces of hardware from Microsoft.
You gotta get all 3 for it to count.
Hey, I go hard. Alright, you're number 2.
Alright, number 2. This is tough. Naughty Dog announces a new Jak and Daxter game.
No way.
Yes.
Okay.
It's going to happen. They got to get out of a property like Last of Us and Uncharted that are so serious and go a complete opposite direction. And they want to bring back a big franchise. This is the year of platformers, right? We have Yooka-Laylee, and I can't think of any others. So it's not the year of the platformer. But they're going to try to make it. I think Jak and Daxter comes back.
Okay. Jak and Daxter comes back.
It's been too long.
At the Sony press conference.
Yep. I think that Sony is trying to win the hearts of their consumers again. Think what they did last year with Shenmue, what they did with Final Fantasy VII. I think that they try to keep that momentum going and try to bring back these big gaming franchises that people have this affinity towards. And I don't think that they're going to be able to do Crash because Crash is owned by Activision. I'm gonna go with Jak and Daxter. That'll be the game they bring back.
Okay.
All right, cool. That's my number 2.
That's your number 2. Well, you kind of brought up Crash, and I feel like that kind of ruins my next prediction. I was gonna say that Activision announces a new Crash Bandicoot game. I think if Activision's smart, they've been hearing people say, we want Crash Bandicoot, and that they are working on it. But if they only started hearing about it this year and haven't been working on it, then that game's not ready for this year.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to say is Mark this date on your calendar. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Did Uncharted come out on a Friday or on a
Tuesday.
It did?
Yeah.
Okay. September 27th, 2016. We'll see the release date of The Last Guardian.
That's going to be your prediction?
Yep. September 27th. You were going to say something about that later, weren't you?
Only because... So IGN just had like a playthrough of Last Guardian, but it was like a tweaked and enhanced and like more like expansive version of what we saw at E3 last year. I don't think Last Guardian comes out this year. I think that we get an announcement this year for the release date next year. And I think it'll be Sony's big kind of February or March game. But I don't think it comes out this year.
Okay. Well, we'll see.
Right.
I'm going to lock it in.
I locked it in. September 27, 2016, Last Guardian.
Yep.
All right. Last announcement. I think that Microsoft tries to go the route of Sony, and they try to bring some stuff in to get people excited. And I think that they announce a new Silent Hill game exclusive to the Xbox One. And they're bringing in some big talent to do it. They're going to announce some partnership with, like... It won't be, like, Hideo Kojima, right? It's going to... Because, like, Konami clearly hates him. It's going to be, like... What's the dude's name who did, all the Resident Evil games? I can't remember his name. They bring in some big name like him. Or even Miyazaki from, like, Dark Souls. They bring in somebody big to do a new Silent Hills game exclusive for the Xbox One.
Shinji
Mikami. So maybe they partner up with Grasshopper, which he, I believe, is in charge of. I think we're going to get a new Silent Hill. Okay. I think after all the PT excitement, I think this shows that Microsoft can pull something away from Sony because they're going to have PT, and they didn't get it. That's my third prediction.
Okay.
So big Silent Hill announcement with
I think
big
you're
talent.
wrong, but we'll see. I mean, I don't think that Microsoft is really in the game of, like, I don't know, paying for exclusivity and partnerships.
What are you talking about?
Unless it has to do with,
they just announced Recore last year as exclusive to Xbox One and Scalebound.
Right, but I think that's kind of like, with that plus Quantum Break having already been out, I think that was kind of like the last of that guard.
You think so? You think they're done with like exclusive games?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it didn't really work for them for Tomb Raider. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's true. Well, you know what? It didn't work for them with Tomb Raider because of what they were trying to accomplish with it, which was to have a straight-up reason to buy an Xbox One instead of buying a PS4 for like that Uncharted-type game.
You know what would be crazy is if PlayStation PlayStation 4 Neo comes out later this year. Like, I know like most reports are pointing to 2017 now. But it comes out this year, and Tomb Raider on PS4, which is supposed to launch this fall, like, utilizes that extra power and just blows the sales off the pants of what the Xbox One was able to accomplish.
So to talk about that for a second, do you think anybody still really cares? Like, do you think do you think Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider comes out for PS4 this holiday, and people are even invested in buying it?
Yes.
You think that people have been waiting?
Put it this way, not waiting, but there are at least 20 million people that own a PS4 that do not own an Xbox One. At least 20 million. And I guarantee you at least a quarter of those people are interested in that game.
Where's 20 million come from?
The difference between how many consoles
I see what you're
Xbox
saying.
One has sold. I mean, like, and not every Xbox One owner owns a PS4, but that's the minimum number of people that have not had a chance to play that. Assuming they also haven't played on PC.
Yeah.
But like even if 10% of those people are gonna buy that game, 10% of that 20 million, that's still 2 million people.
Yeah.
So I think I think that game will sell real well on the PS4. I think you'll see sales upwards of 2.5 million. But that's not my prediction.
Did we even get a number on how many it sold for the Xbox One?
I know, like, within, like, 2 months of launch, it still hadn't surpassed 500,000. They were not giving numbers, but that was, like, the best estimate at the time. So, which is surprising, you know?
It is really surprising. You know what? This isn't going to be a prediction of mine, but this is just something I'm thinking about. I think that we're going to get a lot of delays. I think that people are expecting, like, Horizon Zero Dawn to come out this year. I think they're expecting Recore to come out this year. I think all those games
get pushed.
I think they're all going to get pushed to next year. I think that we'll get Crackdown 3 this year. That'll be a big win for Microsoft, is that game's coming out this year. We already know Scalebound got delayed till, like, March or February of 2017. I think, you know what? I think that Bethesda is going to show off Dishonored 2 at their event on Sunday night, and it's going to make their big thing. But I guarantee you at the end of it, we get this. We get Skyrim, or no, I'm sorry. We get new Elder Scrolls announcement, so Elder Scrolls 6, and then we get Skyrim Remaster for Xbox One and PS4.
Okay.
I think that or backwards compatibility.
Skyrim would be cool. I was talking to somebody at work the other day, and he was saying, like, I would play the shit out of some Skyrim if they released that HD remake.
I think it makes all the sense to either just add it to backwards compatibility. I mean, Fallout 3 is already on there. Or just release the remaster that they already made.
Yeah. Alright, I have my last prediction, which I think you're going to tell me no, that can't be my prediction, but I'll say it anyway.
Okay.
Within 2 weeks of E3 ending,
Nintendo.
I think Nintendo has some words about NX within 2 weeks of E3 ending.
All right.
So we're not going to be able to...
Directly from Nintendo.
Directly from Nintendo.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a direct or something. And I think the whole thing is like, they could see what Microsoft and Sony did, but also kind of steal the hype. Take the conversation away from them since it's occurring after E3, and just make it about them. I don't know. But if we want to make an E3 show prediction, what I would probably say is I think that Capcom announces a new Resident Evil game, but as a reboot, so it'll just be Resident Evil.
So they actually have already kind of announced that without announcing it.
Oh, dude.
That Resident Evil 7 is going to be a reboot of the franchise. Yeah, they've come out and said that.
All right, so never mind.
I think that we see Resident Evil 2, the remaster. I think we see that at E3 this year.
Well, you know what, though? And that probably wouldn't be out this year because they're doing 3 Resident Evil remakes this year.
Yep, I think that...
6 is already
out.
But
Capcom's already come out and said that everything, like, this is like Resident Evil year. It's kind of like the year of Luigi, to where they have a lot of... they have a lot...
Where's our year of Zelda?
Right? Fucking Nintendo, dude. Where's the year of Metroid as well? But, like...
Of Samus.
Fucking Luigi. Capcom's already kind of said that they're leading up to some huge Resident Evil stuff at the end of this year. So I bet that we see the remaster of Resident Evil 2 at E3, and I think that it gets released this year.
Okay, maybe. But then the other thing is, I think Rockstar is going to finally pull the curtain off.
Red Dead Redemption 2?
Yeah.
I was waiting for you to say that. I was surprised you hadn't yet.
Yeah, so, I mean, if you want... Yeah. If you want something for the E3 show to lock in, then I would say, yeah, like, that gets announced at E3. Both Red Dead Redemption 2 and Resident Evil. What if Nintendo, in their 2-week announcement, comes out and says, here it is, guys. We've partnered up with Sega. Here's the Dreamcast 2. That would be awesome, dude. That would be awesome. My buddy Jamal would be so
I'd
happy.
be super pumped.
The Dreamcast 2. With the VMU and everything.
Oh my god, dude. Yes!
VMU 2!
Samba de Amigo 2. Maracas.
Oh my gosh.
They're bringing it all back. What was the name of that game, dude?
back.
Fucking Seaman. Seaman 2.
Oh yeah, Seaman 2. I'll give you some Seaman 2.
I wonder if we're going to get an announcement, by the way, too, for remasters of Shenmue 1 and 2 this year. I wonder if they kind of give like an update on that game, like show off some gameplay footage, and then they announce at the end of it, pre-order and get a remaster of Shenmue 1 and 2.
I don't think they will. I don't think that is as easy to do as you think.
They have to, though, dude. They have to do something. Maybe it's not even a
bring Shenmue.
What's it?
Didn't they bring Shenmue to the original Xbox?
They did. Oh, Shenmue 2 they brought to the original Xbox.
So maybe it wouldn't be as hard as... I don't know, Dreamcast, I feel like, was a super weird platform
but it was
to develop
based off
on.
of Windows CE. It was a Microsoft platform, yeah.
Oh, shit. Well,
So that's why they were going to originally bring Dreamcast games to the original Xbox. It was going to be like compatible with their games because they were built on the same platform.
Gotcha. All right. I think that wraps up the show, man.
Yeah. I think so.
Once again, is there anything else?
Nah, dude, nothing else I can
miss
think of,
anything?
yeah.
Okay. Well, once again, guys, if you want to make some E3 predictions, send those to podcast at start-reset.com. Visit the Facebook page, Start Reset, facebook.com/Start Reset Podcast. Michael, where are you at?
You can find me on everything at Hippo Eater.
Yes, sir, you can. And you guys can find me at twitch.tv/feelthefriction, FRIKTION. And I think that's going to wrap it up for us, and we will be back soon. When do you think, Michael? Are we locked into that,
We are.
that date we talked
Yep.
about? Okay, we're locked
Every
in.
Wednesday.
So, every Wednesday we will record. We will have that published by the end of the week moving forward to help move you into your weekend.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right, guys, we're going to get out of here. Thanks for listening, and we will reset this thing next week.
Peace.